practice a ton and not being able to do what you wanted to do? Can you start to do some things now with a full roster, so to speak?
Probably could start to a little bit more. Unfortunately, it's kind of that time of the year now. You really don't want to do as much. You're getting up into February real soon. But still, with that said, you can do more. We've been doing because we hadn't done as much in the past. We've got to do a little bit more probably this time of the year than I normally do, just to kind of catch up a little bit, catch Moo up and catch Josh up. But still, it's a fine line with injuries with us, with our team, the numbers we have still, the people we're dependent on. These two guys, again, we talked about them for 3 months, and we finally got both of them, and no question, they've already had impacts. Both of them's been impactful. I said this, we wouldn't have beaten Old Dominion without Moo. He didn't score a basket for us, but he had 17 minutes and 4 fouls and 4 rebounds, and his body out there was a difference in that game. But I'll keep things in perspective with him, too. He hadn't played in 2 years. Didn't even practice last year. 0 practice. And the practice this year hadn't been the same for him because of our numbers. He's on that gold team. So I know what I've seen in the games, we're going to continue to see better play from him as he continues to get more comfortable in what he's doing. And that game slows down. Right now that tape in his mind running so fast that he can't see anything happening. But he's one of those guys, again, that he'll keep getting better. And Josh just instinctively makes some plays. But he'll get better as we go on too, as he starts fitting in, starts playing. And hey, it's not easy for anybody to get thrown into a move situation. First college game gets thrown in at Old Dominion against those guys. That's not easy. Same way for Josh. It's not easy to get thrown into it midway through this season. But we'll bring both of them along. Both of them's going to help us, and we're glad to have them.
Is there a margin for error now?
Well, I think you have a little bit more margin for error. We had it at Old Dominion, wasn't it? Didn't Dwight get 2 fouls?
Yeah.
He played 17 minutes. There's probably that margin right there we didn't have before. I'm able to cause Justin had to win and guard the 5 and Merrick to guard the 4, which we've done, but probably not as good as we could do it with Moo guarding that 5. So if you get a perimeter guy maybe that's foul trouble, you have another body. Guy that, again, he'll continue to get better too as this thing goes on. Right now it's just there's not lots of time you can just slow down and focus on Josh. And again, there's not a lot of games where you can put him out there and say, let's go play 30 minutes. He's going to have to learn on the fly right now. But again, he's been good. He was really good second half against Charlotte. Just went and made some basketball plays instinctively.
What impresses you with MBB?
There's a lot of things. I mean, Coakley's playing great. In conference plays, averaging about 18 points a game. He's become a much more factor for him around that block than he was last year. Having really good, solid point guard play now in Norton. A guy who doesn't get shook, leads that team. They got a really good, young freshman guard in Bryant who can go score athletically off that bounce. Really, really good. Darling's shooting it well for him. And you all know this. Lee's kind of been, one of their main guys. So when he's their 3rd or 4th leading scorer, that tells you a little bit about their team. And that's kind of where he is now. He hadn't got the shot attempts maybe he had last year, but we all know how good he is. He's the one guy in this league that everybody talked about preseason that, had the athleticism and ability, may play at that next level. So, solid team, 2 seniors right there and those guys, experienced on that baseline. They've lost 1 game, against Middle where, I'm sure, they've had sleepless nights thinking about that one because they could have won it. But they're 13-5 and they're really good.
What's the biggest thing you'll have to do against UAB?
Well, if there's one thing, there's a lot of things. I mean, number one, we've got to be able to, again, be who we are. That's number one. We can't change anything we're doing based on who we're playing. We always want to throw that ball to the block. We want to drive the block. We want to score in transition. Teams are going to adjust on you. They play some zone. Do they come out and play more zone on the road? We'll see. When they do that, you got to make shots. Making shots makes the world go around no matter what the other team is. We made shots at Old Dominion. We got out of there. But we made shots. You got to make some shots. But when you're not making shots, you still got the ability to throw that ball to that block. And, we think we got some ability there with a couple different guys. And like I said, I think we got some perimeter guys that have the ability to drive it there, and some guys that are shooting it well. So got to stay out of foul trouble. We don't need Dwight picking up 2 fouls the first 3 minutes of the game. Those things will be consistent and constant for us. We can't lose those main guys right now, anything different than the way it's been. Because, again, UAB's really good, really good. They went to Auburn and played Auburn, tied at Auburn now. It was a 3-point game with 3 or 4 minutes to go in that game at Auburn. Auburn's 15 or 16-1.
Having Bryant Hillsworth in that guard position, how much of a different look does that give them maybe compared to what they had last year? They really just had to rely on those inside guys.
Yeah, he's a guy that can really play off that bounce. I think he's attempted, I think, 47 threes, but about 158 shots. I think he's second in free throw attempts, which tells you he's driving that basketball. He's really quick. He's really athletic. We recruited him some. We looked at him. We liked him. They got it done pretty quick, so he's going to be a really good player for them.
Coach, you look at this point in the season, you guys have adapted a lot. Maybe it's been playing fast, playing slow.
I think so, huh?
How impressive?
I think we've had a few things to adapt to as season's gone on.
How impressive have you been, just the way this team has been able to adapt and maybe make some changes on the fly?
Well, again, I said from day one, what probably haven't talked about it a lot lately, but what these guys were able to do with the competition we played with basically 7 scholarship guys. Competition we were playing, it wasn't easy. It was a big challenge for them, but for the most part, they handled that challenge. And we found ways, different nights to do it differently. Different people. Zach gave me a stat the other night I wasn't aware of. We know we've had probably 5 guys in double figures, but maybe I asked you guys a question. If you were to tell me who's led us in scoring the most, Zach must have told you that.
I listened to the radio on Monday.
Okay. Would anybody have known that? I wouldn't have known that at all. I would have said Justin. I said Justin or Darius. So we've had different people do it different nights for us. We've had to adjust. There's no question. Man, zone, we've seen a little bit of all of it. We've played small some. So there's probably nothing else the rest of the season we haven't seen. We know we're going to see some really good teams. Thursday night starts that first one again. But it won't be anything that we hadn't seen up this point or have to defend against at all. And maybe I asked you a question, but our guys probably gained confidence from all that. Going through that kind of schedule and put themselves, in a position now where they're at and just come off of 3 road wins on the road. I'm sure they gain confidence from that. But like I always say, nothing's never as good as it seems, and nothing's never as bad as it seems. You got to stay at you can't get too high, you can't get too low, you can't look behind you can't look forward. You can't look and see, well, this team beat this team so many points. Sometimes you can't look at another team's record because based on where they've been, who they've played. But it's all very obvious we've been in some good places already on the road, that for sure. And coming back home against, good competition here in the next 2 weeks.
What is Merrick's role now that Mustafa's available? I know he was kind of your guy when Dwight and Justin got in foul trouble earlier.
Yeah, he was the guy that had to play. He was that third guy in that rotation. When Dwight was out, Justin played 5 and he'd play 4. Justin was out, he'd play 4. So he had to get those minutes with 3-man rotation. Now there's a 4-man rotation. So, basically it's backing up Justin a lot, what it is. So the role has to change. And, for freshmen sometimes it's tough. You go play them one role a little bit, and that role slips a little bit. Or as a young guy, if you're You know, if you're not shooting it well, you know, in high school, you just keep shooting and keep playing. But in college, sometimes when you haven't come off the bench, that role changes, and you got to adapt to it, and you got to adjust, and you got to find ways to be productive in that role you're in. And it's not always easy for young guys.
Coach, after being on the road for so long, how much are the players looking forward to finally getting back out in front of the home crowd?
Well, again, we haven't talked about it, but I'm sure, you know, yes, we were playing on the road at home. We'd all rather play at home. So, you know, I guess we have been gone. Hadn't thought about it since you said it. You know, what's it, 2.5 weeks? Will it be 3 weeks Thursday or 3 weeks?
Close to 3 weeks.
3 weeks Thursday when we play. It's tomorrow, right? I'm sure. The thing you got to understand, being home don't ensure anything on. You know, you can't get relaxed. Teams go on the road, play more relaxed than they do at home lots of times. You know, at home sometimes kids feel the pressure of the home crowd, but I'd much rather have it that way, for sure. Feel the pressure and feel the emotion of it, because that crowd can make a difference somewhere throughout this game. The emotion, the energy we can get from it. And again, I don't know where we're at on ticket sales. I know it's getting close, but you guys, Dominic, you get on that TV show tonight, helping responsible selling this thing out Thursday night. I don't hear anything about Saturday night. I don't hear about Thursday night. And again, those who come, bring one more person with you. Grab somebody. If we did that, fire marshal would run them out here. If you just grab one more person, that's all we'll take. And need them students back in here. Dorms open up Thursday morning. We need them students to come on back in here early. Get them back in here Thursday night. Again, it ain't Saturday night. Don't even talk about it. We got as tough as a game or as good as a game there is against one of the better teams in this league Thursday night. 8 o'clock start. A little bit different, you know, time start for TV, but again, the crowd can be the difference in helping us win this game.
Justin just said the next game is the biggest one. We've been pleased with the way you guys have bought into that mantra so far.
Yeah, you know, I guess he's heard that a little bit somewhere.
A little bit.
That's what because it's the truth. You know, they all count as one win and one loss. UEB counts as one win. Same as Charlotte. Same as Southern Miss. They all take on a different magnitude sometimes because where they're at. We all understand that. Players understand that. But again, at the end of the day, they're one win, they're one loss. That team can go through 18 games. They'll add them up at the end and see where you set at. So it's about not getting too high, not getting too low. And it's easier said than done sometimes. You know, let's be real about it. These kids understand. They live on social media. They hear what you guys write. It don't mean it's always right or true, but they hear that stuff. You guys talk about how big certain games are. They read that stuff. Well, every game we play is a big game. Every one of them. No matter who it is, it's a big game. Counts the same. When they quit counting on the same, y'all can write your stories different. How's that?
Anything else for Coach?
Give me that question. Give me a question. You didn't ask a question yet.
Zach Bryant, is Tavion going to be the matchup to guard against him, the guard position?
You know, he may have him some. I don't know. You know, Norton's kind of hit that snake too now. I mean, not score as many points, but he's probably responsible for as many points. So remember that. And he's an experienced guy too. So, you know, he may have him some. He may have Norton some. It's not always based on who's a leading scorer. Based on maybe who that hit that snake is, who's the guy that makes that team go and does some different things. But it's very obvious Tavion's done a terrific job for us, whoever he's been on. We're going to need that same kind of, we're going to need it every night. Every night, both these teams coming in got great guards.
The addition of the length of Mustafa and Josh, are you going to hope to possibly press someone?
You know, we haven't been we won't press, 90 feet. We're not going to do that anymore. I mean, we'll need to get better at pressing the half court now since we got them. And you guys probably know we haven't done a lot lately. Last 3 games, we did very little. A little bit of it was based on that game we were playing. Marshall, we were so good in man, we never changed. And Old Dominion, we probably would have liked to a little bit more, but the game was going pretty good. We didn't change. So I do think in time we will get better at that now. I think we'll have more numbers to do it. Because we're adjusting out on top of that thing out there some. So we got to continue to be who we are. And we got to change some defenses to hide our lack of some things on the inside. Void helps us with foul trouble some, helps us, maybe with fatigue some, changing those defenses. And we probably got away from it a little bit the last 3 games.